Hi fellow crocheters, it's Janet with CrochetPatternsForBeginners.com and MyHandmadeBaby.com. Today we're going to make a beginning crochet pattern and we're going to make the Riley baby bonnet or baby hat, baby pixie hat. There's different ways to look at it, but it is a bonnet, so we're going to make that today. And this is a pattern for absolute beginners. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. If you want the written pattern, there'll be a link in the description for you to get that. Okay, what do we need? We need 2 crochet hooks. We need a G, a US G, which is a 4.25 millimeter, and we need an H, which is a 5 millimeter. So we need those 2 hooks, and we need about 120 yards of yarn, 4-ply yarn. I have Karen 1 pound, which is just my go-to for everything. And today we're going to make the body of our bonnet in pale green. And we're going to make the border of our bonnet, excuse me, that was upside down, in soft gray mix. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to use, again, green and gray, which are 2 colors that can be unisex for anybody. So we're going to start out by making a slip knot, and you already should know how to do this. And the stitches that we're going to use today are just single crochet and half double crochet. Now we are going to do a little bit of a alteration on our single crochet, and we're going to learn how to back loop crochet today. So with that in mind, let's get started. We're going to chain with our smaller hook, our G hook, we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is this is the part where we're just going to single crochet. So we're going to single crochet back into the second loop or the second stitch from the hook. And what that means is this stitch right here is a part of what's on the hook, so we want to just go back. So that is right here, and we're just going to do a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now this is where we're going to create a ribbed border, which looks like knitting, and it's just a nice little fitted border, and that's why we're using a smaller hook for that, so it fits nice and snug around the baby's face, and it keeps the cold away from the ears too. So as we're looking at the top of what we just did, which is our single crochets, we see this is what's considered the front loop, and this is what's considered the back loop. Back loop, front loop, front loop, back loop. So on the top, that's the back loop. Coming toward you, that's the front loop. In order to create the ridge, what we want to do is pull one of these loops forward. So in order to do that, we just have to do our single crochet in the back loop, and I'm going to go really slow so you can see it. See, there's 1 single crochet. See that back loop right there? We're just going right into that back loop. And once you know how to do this, I promise you it's going to be one of your absolute most favorite things to do. It just makes a nice finishing touch on any garment from infant to adult. Okay, let's go back. Back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet. Okay, chain 1 and turn, and here we are again. Back loop, single crochet, 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 chain 1, turn. Okay, see how it's starting to form that ridge? Okay, so we've done 3 rows of this. I'm going to do a couple more so that you can see it. and I'll try to go as slow as I can, but what we need to do in order to make our smallest size is we need to do 40 rows of this. So here we go again with the back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet. Okay, chain 1, turn, single crochet into the back loop. I'm wording it a little differently. Single crochet into the back loop, but I'm doing the same thing. Single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop. Okay, so if you were watching this correctly, we started out with a chain of 6, and now we have 5 stitches because we lost that 1 stitch as a turning chain to when we did our first row. So again, we'll do it one more time, and then we're going to stop, and we're going to come back when we've all got 40 rows. Single crochet into the back loop, whoopsie, single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop, chain 1, turn one more time, single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop. I sound like a broken record, I'm sorry. Single crochet into the back loop and single crochet into the back loop. Okay, now I'm going to stop, and we're going to catch up when we get to 40. So again, you need to do 40 rows of back loop single crochet, and this will be the right side here, and this will be the wrong side here. Really, it doesn't really matter on this, but you'll see when you're done, you'll just like one side better than the other. Okay, I'll meet you back here, guys, when you've completed 40 rows. Okay, we're back with our Riley bonnet. We've crocheted, single crochet, back loop into 5 stitches, and we've made 40 rows. So we're ready now to get started with the body of our bonnet, with the body of our Riley bonnet. So what we want to do is we want to do 40 stitches across, and we're going to do a half double crochet, not a single crochet. Remember, I told you at the beginning there were 2 stitches for this bonnet, and the first one that we're doing is the single crochet back loop, and the second one that we're going to do is our half double crochet. So again, these are totally beginner stitches, and you'll be able to create a lovely bonnet for maybe your baby or as a gift. Either way, you're going to be so pleased with it, and you're going to be so proud of yourself for making your own hat. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to add the second color. I have fastened off, okay, which I've made a knot, and I've tied that down, so I'm ready to switch to my second color. And as we talked about it before, we're using the Kieran 1 pound in the pale green. Now I've already got a slip knot in here, that's okay. So get your slip knot. All right, make your slip knot, and let's talk about how we need to do this. First of all, we need to switch to the larger hook, which is the H hook, or the 5mm hook. Also too, I forgot to tell you, and I'm so sorry, at the beginning of the video that you do need a pair of scissors. So I just assume that everybody knows that, but again, I'm working with the beginners here, and it is completely and utterly my fault. So please grab a pair of scissors, and if you haven't already done so, fasten off with your first for your first color of the band, and let's move ahead and let's get on to the body, which is the fun part. Okay, so I've made, as I've stated before, I made a slip knot, and what I'm going to do is again 40 stitches, so that means that I have to have 40 going across this way, and that also means that I'm going to have a stitch in the row in between the ridge, in between ridge, in between ridge, in between ridge. So if I follow this carefully, I will be adding 40 stitches onto it. Now the trickiest part about this is that you got to remember your first stitches don't count at all. They're just a chain stitch. So go in as close as you possibly can to the last row here and just chain 2. So see how I'm right on the edge there, and that's how you want to be. Okay, so my first stitch is going to be in here, my second stitch is here, my third, fourth, etc. So ridge, in between, ridge, in between. So we're doing a half double crochet. Now I want to talk to you about going in between these ridges, okay? It's very, very important that you get your hook into and have 2 loops of yarn. I'll get it better so that you can see that. Do you see how there's 2 loops of the first color? You want that because if you stick it into this loop right here, which is where you just turned and you chained 1, then it's going to look really wonky. You're going to have a hole there, and that's not professional looking. So you want to make sure that when you catch these ones that are in between, that you are able to grab 2. Okay, so now we've got 3 loops and we've completed our first half double crochet. Now remember, we started here and we chained 2, so we are just doing a continuation of this, and you can tighten this up when you go to weave the tail, and I'll talk about that at the end. So we've done 1, so now we need to go into the ridge and do 2. Okay, in between, picking up 2 loops of yarn, half double, ridge, half double. So we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we know that's correct because when we're on the ridge, we should always be on an even number, and when we're in between the ridge, we should always be on an odd number. Okay, so let's get this done and let's lay out our 40. Okay, so we're at number 5. Number 6 is the ridge. Number 7 in between. Number 8, the ridge. Number 9, in between. Number 10, the ridge. And again, on the in-between stitches, we're still inserting our hook and picking up 2 loops of yarn. You want to do that. That's really important. That way your piece won't look wonky. It'll look nice and neat. Okay, we're going across here. We're just going to keep going. In between and the ridge. In between. Gotta get some more yarn here. Hold on for 1 second. I got a new skein, so you know how that goes, guys. It's always got to pull it out there. Okay, so let's continue with our half double. We're on a ridge. We're in between. On a ridge. In between. On a ridge. We're almost there. I do like these 2 colors together. They are different. I just like the Caron 1 pound period. It's a yarn that I use a lot. I find that the larger Joann stores have a better selection of colors. I was amazed when I went to an etc. store, an ETC store. I live in the country, so it's kind of obvious that sometimes I don't get all the colors that people that live in the city get, but I actually went down to an ETC and I could not believe how many colors I was missing. So this color I can get readily, but some of the other ones I can't. So I was pretty excited when I saw that. But if you like the 4-ply yarn, which I do, definitely check out some of those colors of the Caron because they really have a lot of nice baby colors. Also too, the Caron wash is really nice. So if you're going to make this for a gift, my suggestion is that you wash it before you give it, and you will just be amazed at how soft it is. Because let's face it, we're using 4-ply yarn here, and we're also using, you know, a smaller hook than is recommended for the yarn. So it's going to be naturally just a little stiffer. Okay, so we've laid out our 40 stitches of the body, and now we're just going to work the body. Okay, so what we need to do is, in order to turn, we need to crochet 2, because again we're working with a half double stitch, and we're going to turn, and we're just going to continue to do a half double across. Again, remember I said this is a pattern for beginners. This is a super easy pattern, but it doesn't mean that just because you're learning how to crochet does not mean that you can't make something that looks like you've been doing it for years. And whenever I design a pattern, that's my goal. My goal is to give you guys patterns that look like you have been crocheting for a long time. You're going to make a nice piece that you can give away as a gift or for yourself or for your own baby. But it looks like you put, a lot of time into it. And that's the thing about these patterns. They're easy, but that doesn't mean that they should be, discounted as something that just, anybody could do, because it's not true. You know that. It's try to find people that know how to crochet. It's not easy. I have a business, a wedding business, LucileandIrma.com, and I have to have helpers help me crochet my wedding accessories. So I know what it's like, and I think it's really an awesome feeling when I teach a class or something that I can see people that have never crocheted before, and when they make something for the first time and they realize that, they've really accomplished something special. It's just the look on their face. It's pretty priceless. It's very rewarding to teach people how to do things, and I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for my mother and my grandmothers who taught me how to crochet, knit, and sew. So it is a blessing indeed. All right, here's all we're going to do. We're just going to go through this, and I'm going to put one more row on the video, and then we're going to stop the video, and we're going to get this up to 15 rows. 15 rows, crocheters, that's what we need. So we need 15 rows of the half double crochet. But once again, I'm just going to take you to the end here to show you how to turn, and then I'll do this next row very slowly, so that for those of you that are just really starting out, I know what that's like. You feel like you're getting behind, and the person that's doing it is just whipping along, but we forget sometimes. I love to crochet, and so sometimes it goes by really fast for me, but the half double crochet is sincerely one of my most favorite stitches. Okay, so see how that's coming along very nicely. We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful bonnet here, and some colors I think that are kind of like, I don't know, I like this color combination, and I think you will too. Okay, all right, so we've come to the end of the row, and it's time to turn. We've chained 2 because we're half double crocheting, so we always want to chain 2. Let's pull out some yarn so that when I talk to you guys, I've got plenty of yarn to make it over these 40 stitches. Okay, so we're just going to wrap, and we're going to go right into that first one, and we're going to half double right into the first one. The second one, sorry, and we're going to keep going. And again, remember, when you're first starting out, it's important to count your stitches, so make sure that you've got 40. And see how nice this is going to be? It's going to turn out so adorable, and you're going to love it. And it's going to keep your baby warm. Like I said, if you're giving these as a gift, it's a good idea just to give them a quick wash before you give them away, and you'd be just shocked at how this yarn just, I mean, I like this yarn anyway, but really after the first washing, I had a friend that told me about this, and she had made a baby blanket, and she said, I don't know, while it was warm, I just didn't like the, just because we're using a smaller hook here, and just kind of looked or felt just a little stiffer than it should have. And then she said, but when she washed it, it was just absolutely amazing. And that's the nice thing about acrylic yarn. You can wash it, and it's, unless you want to get your washable wool, but you can wash it and it'll wash right up. So, and this yarn is no exception to that. So we're just going along here, and we're doing our half double, and I just realized that I said that I was going to go slow, and I don't think this is very slow. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Sorry about that. And I'm just going to keep going. And you guys know how to do this. You know how to do a half double. So we're going to do this half double, and I'm going to add just some basic stitch videos to our library here. So if you really haven't learned how to do the half double, you'll be able to do that. But we could also cover that here as well, because I think you've seen me do it enough to get it. Okay, we're going to chain 2. So look at how fast we're going here. Okay, so we've got 3 rows and we've got 12 more to go. Isn't that awesome? And then really the only thing left to do is once we're to make this bonnet, it's really easy construction wise. We're gonna fold it in half this way, and we're going to stitch up the back so that it goes, and that's why it forms like a little point. It's like a pixie. It's really cute. I love these little things. These are just adorable, and they're easy to make because they're rectangles, so you can't go wrong with a rectangle. All right, so here we go. Half double. Wrap the yarn around, insert the hook, pull it through. There you go. Wrap around, pull through. And we're already on the 4th row, so we're just moving right along here. We're just going to do this half double crochet all the way across, and then I'm going to turn the video off and let you guys work on the rest of yours. And again, it's really simple. You just need 15 rows for the small size of the half double crochet. And remember, we switched hooks, so we're using our 5mm or our H hook to do the body. And you can see it's just that there's a slight difference there. Not that much, not that noticeable, but enough so that it kind of pulls it in, and see how it is giving a little curve to it. That's what it's supposed to do, and that's all because this band row is just in a smaller hook, and that's what we want. And if you're a knitter, I'm also going to have the basic knit pattern for this up on my knitting website, which is knittingpatternsforbeginners.com, although that'll be just a little bit while, but just check back from time to time and see. And like I said, I'm going to have one of these up for people that want to know how to knit one. I already have a knit version of a bonnet up, but I wanted to make one that was just basic with the knit, with a garter stitch, which is a knit stitch. So okay, we're going to finish this last row, and then we're going to shut the video off, and we're going to come back for segment 3. Half double crochet. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you know that this, just because again it's easy, doesn't mean that it won't turn out spectacular. And whomever you're giving this to, whether you're keeping it for your own baby, or if you're giving it to somebody else, or maybe you're doing it for a charity, just know that that baby's gonna really love it, and so will the baby's mom, baby's dad, whomever you're giving that gift to. So I really applaud you for making this. All right, we're at the end. And remember, it's okay that it's doing this a little bit. It's curving. It's supposed to do that. That's the pattern, because again, this part is a smaller hook right here. The band is a smaller hook. All right, let's chain 2. And I'll tell you what, I'll see you back when you've got your 15 rows done. Okay, we're on the last portion of our Riley baby bonnet from myhandmadebaby.com. Okay, so you've got your rows of HDC on the front as we've been working on through this entire process. And you'll see on top of this hat that you'll need a small pom-pom maker. Let's get started with the construction. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold the hat in half. I'll show you again, just up there. Just fold it right in half. Now this part right here is going to be the part that goes around the baby's face. This is the base of the neck here, and this is the back. And so we're just going to put a seam right here, and then we're going to attach our pom-poms, and you will have made a very lovely baby bonnet. The thing I like about this style is that it's a bit oversized. So what that means is it's more like an ear flap hat. And it goes right on and it comes right off, so you don't have to worry about that, but you're definitely going to keep your baby's ears and his head or her head warm. All right, let's get started with the seaming. Okay, so what you want to do is you've ended right here, and per the pattern it tells you not to fasten off, okay? So what we're going to do here, I'm going to twist it this way because I like to have my work so that it my hook is obviously in the back. And we're going to just chain 1. Just chain 1. Okay, we didn't fasten off when we finished our row, And then all we're going to do is just slip stitch this seam together. Now you want to just slip stitch it right in between the stitches. Your stitches are already there. You're not working with the beginning row, which is nice. You're just working with the rows that are actually the last row that you made. It's just folded in half. So again, all we're doing is just slip stitching this together. This is probably one of the easiest hats you could make, but the nice thing about it is that it will never look as no one will ever know how easy it was. And that's the great part about these patterns. Really do try to design things that look more complicated than what they are to make, and I think that that gives you a strong sense of accomplishment. So again, we're just slip stitching this together here. The very end. We're at the very end, the last one, so let's get that in there. It's going to give us a nice little point. Okay, pull up a little bit, and then what you want to do is you want to just secure that. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and just weave our tail back into our seam that we just made. Just give it a little. I like to go at least 5 or 6 stitches deep on my when I'm doing it this way. You can also use a yarn needle. Some people prefer it that way, but I didn't have one out here, so I'm just going to go with it this way. All right. One more time. That ought to be in there securely. And I'm going to go into one of the loops right here just to give it so that I can hide it, and that's how you want to do it. Okay, then just trim it off. All right, now you want to turn it right side out. And if you've ever sewn anything with fabric, you want to do something called finger pressing. What that is that'll just give you, that'll just work the seam in a little bit. It's a part of blocking too. Some people just call it blocking, but just finger press that seam so that it lays flat. I'm going to go back up and show you what it looks like from the top. There you go. Okay, let's go back in. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to open it like this. Okay, so you can see it's like a triangle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come right to the corner here, the corner of our ribbing, and we're going to go right with our H crochet hook that we used. Go ahead and just pull one of these through, just like that. Okay, so now you've got one. Make it nice and tight. These tails are a little bit too long, sorry about that. And then just tie it. And then I tie it again, tie it in a knot. Tie it tight. Okay. Now, cut your yarn so that it blends into the pom-pom. And you've got one installed there. All right. Let's get the next one on and you're going to be done. You completed it. This is really a super, like I said, a super simple project, and if you need a last minute baby gift or something, these things are so cute. I just think they're adorable. And because they're oversized, they'll go really from like a 0, we have the sizes, all the sizes that you need up to 12 months, but because they're so oversized, they could probably wear this till they're 6 months. It'd probably be from a 0 to 6 months, and the one that's for 12 months might even go into it over a year. I'm sure it will. And then let's just trim it. And you are done. You have made yourself an adorable baby bonnet. Once again, thanks for going through this project with us. I'm Janet, and my websites are knittingpatternsforbeginners.com, crochetpatternsforbeginners.com, and myhandmadebaby.com. And this one is available through the link below.